Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Best Ball Live. Of course, we're doing Underdog fantasy drafts. Best Ball, we've only got about a week to get this done, so we are excited to be playing alongside you guys today. We are playing the Best Ball Mania. $25 is the buy-in price, and I'm looking right now. We got one spot left. One spot to compete against us, and who else? Who knows who the other 10 people are going to be? But I said before the show, I'll say it again now. If you are picking from number 9, hit me up. I will get you an RG t-shirt because honestly, nobody wants to pick from number 9. I'm, of course, Dan Bach. Joining me is Eric Beimfor. We're about a minute away from rosters getting started here, and I am happy to announce that I have the 3rd pick in the draft. And a huge sigh of relief because the one thing, Eric, I've been doing a lot of these drafts. It sucks picking in the back half of the draft. Your teams look, I'm convinced, exponentially worse if you pick below like 5 or 6. You agree with that take?
I do agree. First, we have to start off with I have the 9th pick.
Oh, that's not good because who are we supposed to give a t-shirt to? You already got enough of those.
Yeah. Pass it on down one to the 10th pick. Matt 2618.
Okay, Matt 2618. If you're watching or listening to this, hit me up. We'll get you a t-shirt.
That's too funny. But no, so yeah. I totally agree. So I'm pretty heavy into the, like, if you listen to Overzet and all the zero RB truthers, I'm pretty into like that concept in general. Wide receiver is unreal for like 5 rounds this year, 5 or 6 rounds. But I always feel so much better getting one of those top dogs and then stacking on all those wide receivers. So yeah, I totally agree. And I really, really like I like the 3rd spot because I like Zeke a lot.
Okay.
So I like where you're at. The 3rd spot has been kind of my favorite so far.
Yeah, I'm a little partial to Saquon, and the thing about Saquon is you really only get him if you're picking 2.
Yeah.
It's like the only spot because he doesn't really fall below there, and I've gotten Zeke at about 4 or 5. Some people will take Derrick Henry a little bit earlier than Zeke or even Kamara, but I'm okay with Zeke. Like, I'm not upset about it. It's just so much better the lineup that you end up with especially because what we're kind of seeing here a little bit, Eric, is I feel like the running back position is maybe a little bit thinner than we maybe expected it to be. And, I kind of love at least having that one guy that you can count on who is going to be a bell cow, going to be a huge performer. And you get that at the front half of the draft, even towards the tail end. Guys that we thought were great, like maybe Drake or Miles Sanders, like there's already injury concerns before the season even starts. So obviously a lot's going to change, a lot's going to happen, but I'm happy I'm in the 3 hole. You're up on the board at number 9. What you doing here?
I got to take Michael Thomas. We just talked about running backs, but he's starting to fall towards that back end. And you can still get one of those running backs, picking 9th. A lot of the times I'll still get one of those running backs. I'm not that into like Drake and really not into Chubb and Jacobs and stuff, but there's typically a guy that falls somewhere to me in the 2nd round that I prefer that combination, say Drake and Michael Thomas versus Mixon and like, I don't know, Julio. Like it's kind of that 2v2 that I prefer the Michael Thomas side.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what you do here because, I think if you can get like a Thomas Devontae, Thomas Julio, that is an awesome start. Both those guys were taken before it kind of wrapped around to you. Maybe you have Tyreek Hill available, but then it goes down to DeAndre Hopkins and maybe Godwin. I mean, Godwin, I know you were a Godwin guy last year. Kind of curious to see where you're going to go now.
I'm going Tyreek.
All right.
I don't like Chubb. Like Eckler is fine, but it's a little early, I think. So I just want the wide receiver upside. And now you just kind of got to get a little creative at running back. And I'm okay with that. I prefer having one back, but starting off Michael Thomas and Tyreek, I think is just fine.
Okay. Thomas at 9 is not something you see a lot. I think that's kind of an outlier. If he didn't drop to 9, would you have gone a different route?
Yeah. So at the start of this draft season, I still would have been like wide receiver heavy. I was not as into like Mixon and even maybe Miles Sanders. I do like Miles Sanders, Drake, and those guys, but I think my thoughts have shifted a little bit, and I would take like a Mixon or a Miles Sanders and just lock in that what should be a workhorse back. Even he's not as good as Zeke or whatever, but I just want some kind of workhorse to start off with, and that's kind of why I took Tyreek, because I don't think there's a workhorse there in the second, so I'm not going to force it, but. In the first round, yeah, if Thomas was off the board, I probably would have went running back.
All right, I'm on the board. I was kind of hoping Kelsey would fall to me. Doesn't happen. Kittle is still staring at me. Or I can go wide receiver. There's no way I'm taking a Chris Carson or any of these running back kind of scrubs right now. I'm going to roll with Kittle here. I'm fine with this play. I was kind of hoping to get, and I haven't gotten it hardly at all, but to get a Kelsey Mahomes stack. Like I played a lot of these things, and some dumbass always, and I see Hazy is in here. I was in a draft with him the other day, and he snapped up whatever. I'm pretty sure it was Mahomes right before I wanted him. So it's just hard to get those guys. I mean, I have actually the other strategy that I've used a little bit is Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Mahomes in the first 2 rounds. Because then you're really eating up a lot of touchdowns in that offense and not completely uncorrelated between those two. So that's definitely another thing that I've been able to accomplish a little bit more than actually getting the true kind of Mahomes stack. And if you do that, then you can always go with Hardman and guys like Watkins a little bit later on if you don't get the 2 big boys. All right, I'm back up on the board here. And, the question is, do I want to go Dallas stack here? Do you like the idea of Dallas stack with Zeke and Cooper?
I like the idea of any kind of Dallas stack. Give me all the Cowboys.
All the Cowboys. Okay, I went that route. I think that Cooper's the best player probably available at this point in time. And the problem with this stack is, again, some donkey out there is going to go ahead and take Dak Prescott. It's going to happen. It's going to happen 2 picks before I'm ready to select, and it's going to tilt me to no end. So I'm just giving you a preview of what's probably going to happen
here. I have not been able to get either the Chiefs stack. I stopped trying. I like am almost fading Tyreek and Kelsey more than I expected now because I can never get the stack. So I'm just I don't even want to like tilt myself to start off any draft. So I'm not taking them. I can't get that one. Dak goes really early again, like you said, to non-Cowboys, to people who don't draft Cowboys guys. And I've had the same issue with the Seahawks because I'm interested in them too, but I can't ever make it work.
You know what would be really awesome on these drafts is if people would just all play the same way and you draft the quarterbacks to go along with the wide receivers that you pick. So therefore we don't have this tilt fest. Okay. Let's all play the game the right way. Please. That would be wonderful. Uh-oh.
All right. We lost Dan again. Dan can't figure out these meeting technologies. So let's keep it rolling here till we get Dan back. I am up in the 4th round, and I just took Adam Thielen. So I'm 3 wide receivers in a row, which Dan won't approve of. Totally going 0 RB, and I found that 0 RB on Underdog has been a lot more advantageous, or running backs on other sites are priced a little bit more appropriately. Whereas on Underdog, a lot of people draft a lot of the same way, kind of similar to how Dan and I were just talking, where you're really trying to lock in at least 1, maybe 2 running backs in those first 2 to 3 rounds. And it's really, really pushing wide receiver value in these, still have Dan's screen share. It's really pushing these wide receiver values up. So on Underdog, a lot of the times I'm just taking these guys like Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, Adam Thielen. Now it's back on me in the 4th round. And again, I don't like any running backs here. So I'm looking at maybe Mark Andrews. I'm interested in Mark Andrews, but there's again still all these stud wide receivers like the Seahawks guys and Robert Woods. So I'm just going to go ahead and take Tyler Lockett and start 4 wide receivers and just get Dan.
Can you hear me?
Back.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Dan.
I don't know if my video is working. That seems to be part of the problem here. But you can at least hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay. Devin, can you work around this video? Okay, perfect. We're good. There we go. I got a different video. This is a different camera angle. Look at this. This is something else. Okay.
Behind the scenes. This is
behind the scenes. Yes. You can see all sorts of stuff. All right. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. My camera went haywire, but so we're back. And I mean, this is just, the tilt was clearly the reason why this happened.
Overtaking your computer.
Yeah. I don't really have anything to tilt here, but I'm coming up in 2 picks. And I am spying one player in particular. Leonard Fournette just went. We'll talk about him in just a moment. Oh, no. Eric just gave an oh, no. All right. My guy is here. And I don't know if I should say my guy, but I'm happy to take David Johnson here. I don't mind him. I just don't – I don't know if he's any good. Okay? I'll fully acknowledge. I don't know if he's any good whatsoever. But I do know he's going to have a role, and they didn't go ahead and trade DeAndre Hopkins not to give him the football. So if he's not good, it's all based on talent, not opportunity. I'm willing to kind of risk that a little bit and see what happens. So I don't mind that selection, to be honest with you. I'm happy that he was there.
I was really out on him to kind of start, and then you're always trying to get smarter, and there's some smart people out there that are at least entertaining the idea that David, like if he is healthy, if he's back to old David Johnson and they traded all this for him and they throw him the ball and use him, how he should be used. Yeah, he's certainly worth a 4th round pick. I'm still not totally sold, but I at least can I wasn't even entertaining it before. And now I think there's paths to him being one of the top running backs in fantasy. It's just, I'm not sure how likely it is, but he's certainly no worse than all these other bums that people are taking. Leonard Fournette just went.
Exactly. We'll get to that because in just a moment, I'm back on the board here. And now is the proverbial question is, do I take Dak Prescott here? Because if I don't, one of these other donkeys are going to take him. It's almost certainly going to happen. Or do I spy a wide receiver that I like? I've got a plan of attack here. I've got a plan, and it was not foiled by Mr. Eagle Eyes. Appreciate that, buddy. I'm going to take some Will Fuller here, and that gives me 2 really big pieces of that Houston offense. Maybe Brandon Cooks is the guy. I don't know. I doubt it, okay? But Fuller, David Johnson, those are the top 2 playmakers on that offense. So now I've got the top 2 playmakers on Houston and on Dallas. God forbid these guys wise up and don't take Dak Prescott. That's wonderful. But if they do, kind of got a little bit of a fallback there in Deshaun Watson. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, you're coming up here in just a few picks. Let's take a look at your team. Thomas, Hill, Thielen, and Tyler Lockett. He is punting running back, and I'll be curious to see. There's a guy I think you should take at this point in time. I'll be very curious to see if he hits here in 2 picks for you because there's somebody that I've been going very hard on in drafts here over the last probably just about a week, 2 weeks, and I think he has the ability to potentially be certainly a top 10 running back.
I think we're thinking about the same guy, so we'll see.
We're thinking about the same guy. I don't know if these other people are watching the show with us today. I have no idea. They very well couldn't. None of this conversation really matters. But in the off chance that they are, I'm not going to say it. But these are the moments that I love and I hate. And in my estimation, the dude just went.
Yes, correct. Akers, yeah.
Cam Akers is the guy, and sure enough, one pick before you're up. Would you have taken him if he was there?
Yeah, that's who I was absolutely prepared to take.
All right, and instead you ended up on Mr. DeAndre Swift. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not dogging the pick. You kind of need some running backs at some point in time. I just worry whether or not he's physically going to be able to do it. I mean, he didn't have the ability to really do it at Georgia.
No.
You know, I mean, he was fine, but always remember last year in DFS, like you didn't know very much what was going to happen with this guy week to week. So that's my concern. I mean, you're going to be drafting a bunch of scrubby running backs anyway. So, you know, it's kind of the hand you're dealt at this point in time. But based on what was left, I don't know if you did anything wrong.
Just kind of a bet on talent and, you know, them spending a high draft pick on him. I mean, I know DeAndre Swift is good. You know, talking about college football DFS. I mean, if he could ever get the touches that he probably deserved and stay on the field, he would have put up monster numbers even in the SEC. But obviously that didn't happen, and now he's already dinged for the Lions. So no, I still like him, and maybe over the course of this season he can take on a lot bigger role. And I like the Lions offense, but you know, assuming Stafford stays healthy, I really like their offense. So I'm just willing to bet on that in this, especially in this kind of a build. But yeah, I wanted Akers because I think he has a lot more paths to work. You know, I think the Rams offense is still good, and I think he has the paths to true workhorse volume. So,
and Henderson's hurt. Malcolm Brown's kind of like whatever. I'd really love Swift if you had some wide receivers on Detroit. I mean, you could take Marvin Jones if you wanted to go that route right now, and maybe grab Stafford a little bit later. But instead, he goes running back, J.K. Dobbins. Love it. Well, you know me. I am okay. I'm not young. I'm not hip. Everybody knows this. If I love somebody, does that make me a stan? I don't even know what the frick a stan is.
That's correct.
But
you're a Dobbins stan. Yes.
I'm a Dobbins stan. Okay. I'm okay with that. Because I love this guy. And, you know, he is just one injury away from just blowing up this season. You know, if it all boils down to Ingram. If Ingram's healthy, obviously that's going to be a bit of a problem. All right, who is the donkey that took Dak Prescott here? Who took him? Who is the guy? Oh, it was Matt, the guy I gave the freaking T-shirt to. I mean, dude, I give you a T-shirt, and I told you what I wanted to pick, and then you still took my pick. Thanks, appreciate that.
That's great.
So Hazy's on the clock right now. He's got 3 wide receivers, only 1 running back. And I'm happy to say he didn't take Deshaun Watson. I don't know if I need to take Watson here. He might come around. But looking at what is out there, there's nothing that I feel like I need to have here. And any of these guys are truly popping. So I'm going to kind of complete that Houston mini stack that I had especially with Johnson being a guy that we know can catch the ball coming out of the backfield. That kind of fits pretty well. So I'm happy with that. All right.
Hate this. Have you ever noticed this range? Like you get to late 6th and into the 7th and maybe the 8th. Like I don't ever like anyone. I kind of like taking Watson like you did because nobody else is that exciting. So you might as well get your superstar quarterback.
Exactly. Like especially when you've got pieces to kind of to go there. And because I'm looking around, like you're right. Like there's not anything here that's really popping off the page that says, you know, you've got to feel great about that pick. Running back, wide receiver, and honestly, tight end, unless I'm getting a top guy, I am waiting because you can get some quality tight ends later in this in the draft. So now I'm going to end up probably drafting an old guy in either AJ Green or Julian Edelman. Oh man, this is bad. All right, I'll take Green. I don't know. I don't love the pick at all. Who knows? You know, if he stays healthy, probably should be fine, right?
If he stays healthy, yeah. I mean, damn it. If I really wanted Russ to come back to me. Now I don't know what I'm going to do.
The proverbial damn it. We've all been there before when we're drafting these teams, and you've got the guy ready to go. Love it.
I hate all these guys. So I was really hoping Russ would fall back and at least give me a fallback option. This is ugly. No, AJ Green. I've started to come around a little bit more on the Bengals in general, and I don't know really why it took me that long. I love Burrow. Tyler Boyd's really good. Mixon's really good. AJ, it's obviously all about health, but if he stays healthy, I mean, there's a lot of talent on that offense. Good. I like the coaching staff. Like, I don't know. I think you can do a lot worse than I know. All the fantasy experts are totally out on AJ, and I get it. But in the 7th or 8th round, I don't think it's that bad.
I'm sorry for the Dak. It's an auto pick. Take a wide receiver. I'll trade it to you. That's what. Hold on. That's what Matthew Vachon said. Okay, let me get this right here. Let me get this right. Okay, I know we're an underdog show. There's another site. Isn't there a guy named Vachon who gives all those what are they, like, contest requests or something?
Yep.
Is this the same guy? Do we think?
It's got to be.
I mean, I hope not. I mean, he spells his name Matthew like he's Canadian. That doesn't sound like something a nice Canadian guy would do. So he says he's sorry for the Dak. It's an auto pick. Well, is this where I say, like, I'm sorry I forgot to send you a T-shirt? Do I do that? No.
Yep, move it on down.
Never do that.
Pick 11 now. Whoever
I am 11 a man of my words. And Matthew says he's not related. Okay, but Matthew, he is in the chat with us here, which is awesome. I love drafting against these guys. Are you Canadian? That is my question. Because I feel with the IEU, he's either Canadian or from Louisiana, right? It's got to be one of those two.
Yep.
Got to be one of those two. All right. Did you get your second pick here?
I did. I'm
wraparound?
up in 3. Yeah, I'm up in 3.
Did you take Debo?
I reached on Debo for sure, mostly because I want him. I'm trying to get him. I've been drafting Debo the whole time. I haven't stopped, even when he got hurt. And it's a little early, but he has started to creep back up. Reports are starting to get a little more positive, so he started to creep back up. So I'm reaching a round or so, round and a half on him, just to make sure I get him. And especially in this dead, like we talked about, in this dead range, like I don't really like any of these guys. So I'm just going to make sure that I get my guys that I want, even if I'm a little early on them.
Yeah. And you should be happy you did that, because with me having Kittle, I would have happily taken some Debo, and Garoppolo's fallen super late in these drafts. There's your second QB, and you got your second stack kind of ready to go. So smart move by you. But I do think, if you weren't drafting with such a sharp guy like myself, you could have waited on him, because I think he still would have fallen probably another round or so, at least to this pick, I think. But now you don't have to worry about that. Zach Moss. I love it. Yeah. Now they're saying it's 50-50 with Singletary.
It might. Every report leans more towards Moss. Like every few days we get a new Moss is way better than Singletary. Moss is going to get goal line work. Moss is catching passes. Singletary's fumbling. Every report is positive Zach Moss. So kind of the same thing, especially in, 0 RB. I just want all these guys that can pop. I don't really know which one is going to, and I don't really care, Swift, Dobbins, Moss, and then all these next kind of tier of backup guys. Just got to hit on 2 or 3 of them, and you're good.
I'm coming up. Again, here's my squad right now. Zeke, David Johnson, 3 wide receivers, Deshaun, Kittle. See, this is where I look back and be like, man, did I really need Kittle? Because, I love the guys that are out there now. Hurst, Higbee, Gesicki. Those guys are great. And I think Hunter Henry's dropping too far, to be honest with you, especially with the injuries at that wide receiver position. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if I really want to take a second one right now. Yeah. And I'm looking at these running backs. Ronald Jones, this is an interesting spot here. They just brought in Fournette. I can't.
How many more lies?
Do it. I did it. All right. Okay, here's the deal. It's a matter of whether or not you believe what we just read. And I probably shouldn't believe it, because if they liked Ronald Jones, they probably wouldn't have drafted a running back in the 3rd round. They probably wouldn't have signed LaShawn McCoy. They probably wouldn't have signed Leonard Fournette. But yet here I am drafting him to be my number 3 running back because Bruce Arians says it's his job to lose. Yeah. Here's what I'm doing here. And I don't love that pick. I mean, this is basically boiled down to what was available. I actually think that my hope is somehow he just, screw this. Hold on. I'm gonna go with that backup tight end right now. Give me one of my guys. Yeah, I'll take Hayden Hurst here. All right. Can't go wrong with 2 good tight ends. That's what CSU Ram taught me in this best ball, and he's won a lot of money on this stuff.
Yes, he has.
So here's my thing. Maybe they just get off to a good start. Maybe they come out of the ball, because let's face it, Fournette week 1, maybe 5 carries, maybe. Like, who knows if he'll even be active. Yeah, right. It might not even be active. But if they come off to a good start and they're winning games, Jones is doing well, like, it technically is his job to lose. I can't imagine them saying, okay, you're playing well, we're going to give the ball to Leonard Fournette. So at least we know, kind of coming into the season, he's the guy. Is he good enough to be the guy moving forward? Probably not, but if he is, at least he's got the shot. So I don't love the pick, but there wasn't much else. That's my reasoning.
We have to bring up, though, I don't know if you saw Graham Barfield tweeted. It's been a month, I guess, but Levitan retweeted it this morning. All the quotes from Bruce Arians about running backs over the last X amount of years. And I'm just going to read them really quick. Bruce Arians, Andre Ellington is the focal point of the offense. You remember the Andre Ellington years?
I do.
And he's going in like the 3rd round because Arians was talking him up. Hold on, let me make my pick really quick. I'm taking Jalen Reagor, even with the injury.
Okay.
I'm pretty loaded at wide receiver. So, I went super wide receiver heavy, so I'm willing to take the guys like Reagor because I don't need him week 1 type thing. So I like that. So anyway,
Andre continue Ellington, these quotes, so I feel bad about that pick that I did.
It's going to make you feel terrible. Andre Ellington, the focal point of the offense. Arians calls Chris Johnson the lead dog. Remember when he had Chris Johnson in Arizona and I think he got cut, right? Bruce Arians names Ronald Jones last year the starting running back. Then Bruce Arians says he wants to build the offense around Peyton Barber. And now he's saying Ronald Jones has become an awesome receiver, and now he's saying Ronald Jones is still our guy, even though, like you said, they signed 2 veterans and drafted Keyshawn Vaughn. He's full of shit, that's for sure. It's just I do agree with you that Rojo is going to get the first shot. It's just the first time he either pisses off Brady or pisses off Arians. Like, they have 3 guys they can go to.
First off, I was right about our boy Matthew being Canadian. So, hey, hat tip to me. And I'm happy to pay one back because he wanted Hurst for his stack, and he now wants to trade Hunter Hurst for Dak Prescott. If trades were allowed, I would go along with it. Might get vetoed by some people in the league, but I would go along with it. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. And then a guy named Steve with your same last name has jumped in the chat and said,
"Oh no,
don't be dogging Bruce Arians." Is this a brother, a father, an uncle, a cousin? It just can't be coincidence that there's another Bime for who's watching the show that you are on at this moment.
That's true. That's Papa Steve. That's Papa Bime for hopping in.
Right.
And he had to hop. He's a diehard Bruce Arians fan. He loves Bruce Arians.
Hold on. Okay. How do you become a Bruce Arians fan? You're not usually a fan of a head coach. You're usually a fan of a team. So there's got to be more to this.
Yes. So my dad is a football coach, lifelong football coach. Well, he just recently retired. He was a football coach. So he's this weird sicko that is not really a fan of teams. He's a fan of coaches. Okay. So Bruce Arians is his guy.
Okay.
So we're in St. Louis, right? We had the Rams ripped away from us we had the Cardinals before that. Like football, we don't have ties to teams anymore if you're from St. Louis. So he's a I'm a fan of players. He decides coaches because he's a real boomer.
I mean, we're already a different breed because we give up our team loyalty for our fantasy teams. But at least like I get it. But to be like a coach stan, I mean, my goodness, like that is something else. Well, man, I love it. Sicko. That is an absolutely great description. So he's all in on the Bucs this year. Well,
I'm sure
how that goes.
I think he actually agrees with me that Brady is washed though. So,
I mean, I understand it, Eric. I really do. But I do think there's also something to be said for, I mean, look at the numbers he put up last year with just complete and utter garbage.
Awful. Yeah.
I mean, garbage. This is unquestionably the best supporting cast he's had probably since Randy Moss played. So now he's also like probably 10 years older since Randy Moss played. So I'm not expecting that. But I do think there's something to that argument about him, having another run at it. But we'll see. All right, I'm back on the board here. Not really loving. This might be a spot to go running back. I've been on a lot of Damian Harris. I don't love this news of him kind of being banged up here. And this is a bad pick. This is a bad pick. This is a bad pick. I'm going to take Sony Michel here.
Oh no.
I know. I told you it was a bad pick. It was a really bad pick. I'm telling you. I wanted to get another running back in there because God forbid I got to have Ronald Jones be a part of my rosters. I mean, Harris seems out here, I think, week one. I mean, that said, that's why they were looking at Fournette is this injury is a little bit more severe. Now, obviously, they still have James White. They have Burkhead. They've got plenty of bodies they can throw in there. But
Lamar
the reports
Miller
from Michelle coming off the pup, I mean, they could have kept him on the pup if he was hurt, if he wasn't going to play. It gives me a little bit more confidence. Still an awful pick by me, but there's my reasoning.
Well, it's better in the 11th. Where was he going a month ago or, before he got dinged up? Like, I'm not saying you should have taken him ever, but it's certainly a whole lot better in the 11th round, praying that, if he has the normal old Sony Michel role and the Patriots are competent on offense, he's still going to score 8 to 10 touchdowns, right? So
half-point PPR, it's not the full point. So yeah, I get it.
It's not exciting, but like I said, we're in like
not exciting.
We're in the druthers here of just like god awful running backs. Like, at least you have a couple good ones. my first running back was DeAndre Swift, so I probably could. I would be happy with Sony Michel.
I mean, I like your recovery here with Dobbins, Moss, and Swift. Like, I was really questioning it. I mean, now you add Boston Scott to the mix. I was questioning the move when you had Swift, but getting Dobbins and Moss, I feel like you helped yourself enough to like to deal with the risk that goes involved with that move. Talk to me about Hockenson. I see you took him the pick before Boston Scott here. You're pretty high on him.
Yeah. So we kind of reached this tier. You talked about it a little bit of tight ends where after we get past, so they're still on the board here. There's multiple of them. Herndon, Goddard, Jarwin, Ian Thomas kind of tier. Where if you don't get, like you got Kittle, if you don't get Kittle or Kelsey or Andrews, I want 2 of these guys. So I was just really trying to ensure that I get, 2 of the I'm highest on Hockenson and Herndon. So I'm just trying to ensure I get those guys because after them, it's really, really, really gross.
Yeah, I mean, I'll throw Jonnu in there. I like him a little bit this year as the featured guy. So there's a lot of drafts where I've even gone like just double tight end in a row because you're right. You're in this territory where I'm picking, scrubs like Sony Michel, who I don't really want to take. And when there's, I think, perfectly viable guys with upside at that tight end position, I'm not like regretting the Kittle pick by any measure, but in retrospect, you look at it and be like, yeah, do I really want to do that? Okay, you took Herndon. I'm going to throw this out here. Any thought to Breeze to match up with your Michael Thomas? Because I thought you might be going there, but you
just
didn't.
hate drafting Drew Brees. The Saints. So there's like three different things. Breeze is going to have a fine year. He always will have a fine year, but they're really good. The Saints are really good. Their defense is really good, and they've really been a lot more run based of a team for years now. And then you have goddamn Taysom Hill, you sweating your quarterback, getting vultured at the goal line twice a game by the backup quarterback. You need those touchdowns. If sure, you have the stack of Breeze and Michael Thomas. That's great, but your quarterback, you can't be giving away 5, 6, 7, 10 touchdowns a year. Like, I can get 30 touchdowns, as crazy as it sounds, with crappy quarterbacks later in the draft. So, if Breeze could run at all, or if there was just something to help make up for that loss that you get with how much they run and with Taysom Hill, it sucks.
Who took my boy Laviska Shenault so freaking early?
He went really early. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I was like, okay, he'll be here. It's round 12. Who the hell took this guy? I mean, I ended up with Breshad Perriman, which I'm okay with, but Josh Gordon went super early too. I know he's supposed to sign with Seattle, but I mean, dude took him 12-8.
He's suspended.
The wide receiver run on this is ridiculous here. Find me now I'm back on the clock. I mean, oh my God, this is getting out of control. Shit. Did I take it? I already got 2 tight ends. I don't need another tight end. I need a wide receiver, but these guys suck.
Yes.
All right. I'll do it. I mean, he's the best player available when he's healthy, but who knows if he'll ever be healthy.
Yeah.
Hopefully these other guys, again, the good thing about drafting a guy like Mike Williams is your number 6 wide receiver is you have 5 others who can help you out for those weeks because there's no bye weeks. He'll be back by the time, the first bye is week 6, I think. He'll be back by then. At this stage, I don't mind that pick. He's not a guy I'm focusing on, but this ridiculous draft room we're in right now, where people are drafting wide receivers like this early, it's forcing my hand here, Eric. It's forcing my hand.
I mean, this is really brutal.
Hazy took him. He's the one who took Shenault, by the way.
Of course he did.
Yeah. So Carlos Hyde 11-5.
These underdog drafts are seriously super sharp. Like they're so I've been drafting on a site that shall not be named for the last couple of weeks because they are so soft. Like this is like drafting against a bunch of experts compared to that other site.
It is, but I don't think this draft is. I mean, no offense to the guys out there. This has gone a very different route than I expected, to be honest with you. Like, there is clearly let me see, is my guy still there? Yeah, okay. So running back I'm going to take next go around. This has kind of gone off the rails a little bit here. I mean, with a lot of these, like the wide receiver run is absurd. Yeah. Like, what's happening here is nobody's really taking their quarterbacks. I mean, your boy Breeze is still waiting there for you, man.
I'm just waiting.
You got like 2 more picks here. If he comes up 14-4, there's a lag. Don't worry. These guys won't hear this. You going to take him here? You should take him.
I think so.
You should definitely take him. And here's the thing I don't mind about it, too. And I haven't gotten it because I'm not drafting a lot of Michael Thomas because he goes a little too early for my liking.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Traquan he is a late round guy who could be a great play for you.
Yep.
So that was a good wait. That paid off for you, Eric. Well done.
It's one of those, we just talked about how I'm like not excited in a vacuum for Drew Brees. but that allows you to just wait it out. And it's like, okay, you know, in the 14th or 15th round, especially when you have Michael Thomas, it's like, okay, there's a certain point I'll draft just about everybody. And so you can just, you know, like you said, this draft, people are just going absolutely bonkers on wide receivers for the last like 5 rounds. So that helps free things up.
Freaking IMAX 11 just took Joshua Kelly at that spot. I love Josh Kelly. I was like, nobody's going to take this guy. And
that's who you're going to take?
Well, I really like him. I think there's a legit chance he's the number 2. Mm-hmm. And we know Eckler's not going to be on the field, you know, the full time because he's going to split out a lot, especially with, you know, freaking James Guyton or whoever is their number 2. I'm going to go ahead and take my backup. I'm going to get Garoppolo for my Kittle.
Damn it.
But sorry.
I was going to take
I don't want no. I don't want to hear your damn it. You waited around on Drew Brees for how long? Like he was just given to you on a silver platter. But back to my point. What was my point? What was I talking about? I was talking about Kelly. Yeah. I mean, that offense could still be all right.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, Williams is going to be out for a while. And again, they've got no really number 2 wide receiver. So
no.
I think he's going to play snaps. So we'll see.
What do you think between him and Justin Jackson, though? What do you think?
I think it's Kelly, from what I'm reading. Yeah, I think so. All right, I'm back on the board here. Okay, I got to get another wide out here. Got to go this route. Oh man, I could totally just troll you and take Traquan Smith, but you know, Eric, I like you a little bit. I won't do that. I might though, because these guys stink. Oh my god, dude, I'm panicking.
Oof.
All right, I'm just gonna take a sure thing here, and get my 80 yards, and grab Larry Fitzgerald. We know he's gonna play. Maybe DeAndre Hopkins just doesn't show up, or he's hurt, or wants a new contract. Who knows? I don't love the pick, but at least he'll get me. You know, he'll play.
Yeah. For the first month and a half of it, you'll probably use his score multiple times for the first 6 weeks.
Probably.
Then he won't do anything.
All right. We're on 15th. This draft is moving right along.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Whew.
Eric, you are on deck. Let's take a look at your team here real quick. Pretty solid team, top to bottom. McKinnon, there goes a good pickup. There's your Debo. Yeah, that's the wonderful thing. If you go wide receiver, like 5 out of the first 6 picks, you don't really need to take anymore for a while. And you rolled with Daring. Ooh, talk about this one. He's been dropping. And I guess he is dropping. I mean, this is round 15. So
right. So I'm certainly not that excited for Darrynton Evans behind Derrick Henry, but there are like some positive things coming out of camp. You know, they expect him to play. He's not just the backup to Derrick Henry. They expect to get him involved a little bit. I even read the most recent report I read was they only expect to keep 2 running backs on the roster, which, you know, is obviously a good sign for him. He's kind of dinged right now, but it's mostly a play on, okay, if Derrick Henry goes down, you know, this guy has value, but which I need, but I just need those kind of guys on my team given the 0 RB build.
All right. I've got my guy lined up. There's no way he's going to go. I mean, I guess you're on the board now. You could take him, but I mean, you should take Traquan right here if he's available, but that's just, you know, is he available? Or did somebody snipe him?
He's gone. Oh God.
Oh man. Andy Isabella's gone too. That's sad.
Oh my guys. Yeah, all the guys that I wasted money on last year.
I know, the guys who bankrupted us last year. Let's see. I'm trying to see where Traquan went. Must have gone. Oh, there he is. Chill Rizzle took him. So, all right, I gotta stick to my brand on my next pick. Oh, Kendrick Bourne. I kind of wanted him. He would have fit well with my mini San Francisco stack. But instead,
stick to your brand. But like Adrian Peterson got drafted already.
That's true. This
Greg
old man,
Olsen,
dusty ass injury, like that is exactly the bread. Now, this pick is not that. This next pick is not that. I mean, hey, I got to get a Jag. Okay, I got to get a Jag. So, Divine Ozigbo. Okay, hear me out on this. Armstead hasn't been in camp the whole freaking time. Like they might put him on the pup. They might not even. I don't know. They doubt they'll cut him, but they potentially could. It's not like they had any draft capital put in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Thompson's not a 4-down back or a three-down back. He's not. I like Thompson. I'm drafting him a lot, but he's not a 3-down back. Great in PPR.
Mm-hmm.
Ozigbo, he's getting run with the first team right now. So it's not an impossibility he comes into the year as the guy. Mm-hmm. And I know he was cut last year. He was undrafted. The dude was not a scrub at Nebraska by any measure. Playing in Big Ten competition. So, we're at the 16th, 17th round right now. Like, you're not taking guys you feel great about, but I think you could do worse than him. You could do worse.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised given, I just had to take Darrington Evans and like I like Jerick McKinnon and Boston Scott is whatever, but like was having to take those guys, in the 120s, just to get my running backs. And, I'm not excited about the Jags backfield either. I'm not saying people should be, but at least this guy has a clear path to 15 touches a week. We expect the Jags to be horrible. I'm 99% sure they're going to be horrible, but that doesn't mean they're going to lose by 40 every week. They can still be in some games, and all he has to do is fall into the end zone.
Yeah. I think at this point in the draft, you're looking for guys who are going to get opportunities, and especially guys that you're not like, you don't need something bad to happen to get an opportunity. He's going to get opportunities, period. We'll see if he's any good with them, but that's kind of like this whole team, like David Johnson, going to get opportunities. Ronald Jones, going to get opportunities. Ozigbo, probably going to get opportunities. Now, these guys might suck. Okay, then that's fine. Okay, that's fine. As long as I recognize, like, they're actually going to get a shot at it. Okay, you're back up right now. 22 seconds to go.
All right, I'm taking another one of my late round RBs, 0 RB type guy, Brian Hill.
All right.
There's a lot of I just been taking him, on the other side he goes in like the 20th, which is even better. A little earlier on Underdog, but same thing. He's backing up Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley has one knee, so
is he the number? Is he number 2?
I believe so. That's everything that they're saying is that he is, and there's just like rave reports again. Take it with a grain of salt, the camp reports, but they're not like praising Ito Smith. They are praising Brian Hill. So I'm just taking my shot with him there, and Gurley could sit out a couple weeks even if he's not hurt, just with that knee. So.
Very true. All right. Well, we're coming up on the end of the draft here. Again, if you haven't signed up at Underdog, use promo code Grinders. Be in running for some free swag from them and for us, and certainly helps us out. And appreciate all you guys watching, interacting, being along for the ride here. This is great. We love doing these drafts and more to come. I think we've got another one coming up tomorrow. And okay, I went 3 tight ends, by the way. I took Darren Fells. I just wanted somebody else with Deshaun Watson. All I had I had Johnson and I had Fuller. I didn't feel like it was the worst move in the world to get a tight end in there. I'm definitely more in the camp of 3 tight ends because one of those guys goes down, then you're relying on one guy. Okay, one in, and come playoff time, you're going to need points from every position you have. So I kind of subscribe to the 3 tight end. Especially if you can, at least somebody late matches up with one of your quarterbacks. Now I'm in this weird spot here because there's just a lot of trash. I'd love to match somebody up with Garoppolo.
Trent Taylor.
Trent Taylor is
he around?
I took some
He's gone.
Has he gone?
Yeah.
Who would take Trent Taylor? Gosh, you guys are just trolling me to no end.
Speaking of sickos in this draft.
I know. There's a bunch. Scotty Miller's getting some talk up there in Tampa. I don't know. I mean, how many passes is he really?
Only one football.
Yeah.
And the quarterback can only throw it 10 yards.
Go to the Jags. Chris Conley's going to be my guy there. Against last round flyer, whatever. It is what it is. But, Tyler Eifert went late in this draft. He'd been going earlier. So, Hazy got him.
Mm-hmm.
Hazy, look at that lineup. Minshew, Chark. No wonder he took Visca so early. And Eifert. I've got a lot of that combination. I'm not going to
lie. Minshew, Chenault, and Eifert or Chark.
Yeah, any of those combination of four, and throw in Chris Thompson too. Like he is, and he's got him here too. I mean, it's pretty good lineup there, Hazy. I don't know a triple quarterback, triple tight end. Maybe a little aggressive for that, but
that works well on the other side, more roster.
Yeah, more roster space. Underdog, it's tough. Like you got to be committed. I think you don't have to be committed to 2 or 3 or just 2, but more often than not, that's kind of the way I go. All right, let's quickly look at your final team here, Eric. And let's see. Breeze, Teddy. There's your collection of running backs. And then your wide receivers, you only took one, Claypool, late after Rager at 105. I mean, you feel pretty good about that, right? Like, I mean, especially as long as, Debo comes out healthy, that's really gonna help the cause. But you still got Lockett, Hill, Thielen, and Thomas. And then I love your tight ends. Pretty good looking squad. I can live with that. I'm gonna give a quick exposure. Okay. Now remember, I've been doing these things for a long time. Okay. So here's my ownership exposures. Okay. I don't mind giving this away. You can make fun of me all you want, but Laviska Shenault, I'm a man of my word. There he is. Almost $500 tied up on that guy. David Johnson, Joshua Kelly, Lazard. A lot of those are more earlier. It sounds like MVS is kind of moved up a little bit. Preston Williams, Hayden Hurst, Deebo Samuel, and then there's my 2 New England running backs. It is what it is. Mecole Hardman, Breshad Perriman, Dalvin. I get tons of Dalvin Cook in the middle. A lot of people aren't playing Dalvin Cook, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But it's 2:00. We got to get on out of here. We got a lot of stuff still happening here at RotoGrinders, so stay tuned. We got early slate MLB today. DraftKings has an early slate. There looks like there's some weather concerns, so the Grinders Live crew will be around for that. Underdog Best Ball Fantasy. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't checked it out already, it's a lot of fun. Might have some overlay in this Best Ball Mania, but the thing that's really underrated about this too is, again, no management all year long, and it gives you something to follow every week. Especially if you're dusty ass DFS teams for the week. They're just in the trash. The thing you can always go back to is say, I got some Underdog Best Ball teams that I can look at. And it gives you hope. It gives you hope for the end of the year. So check them out. It's a lot of fun. Great sponsors here. And use that promo code GRINDERS when you sign up. That helps us out a good bit. For Eric Bond, for Devin, who does a terrific job producing, I am Dan Bach. Got another one of these shows that you can play along with us tomorrow here on RotoGrinders. Till then, we'll see you, everybody.